You guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I met someone. Yeah, y'all could have had a Mr. Potato, but unfortunately, I ended things with him. We've been talking for a few weeks. He was a teacher. Well, he was my teacher in a class that I was failing. And we met on an app, Polybuzz, the sponsor of today's video.
Potato? What are you doing here in my classroom?
Tom, I'm here to break up with you.
Is that so? Can you elaborate?
I don't want to talk anymore.
You breaking up with me over a bad grade?
Yeah. Oh my god, he's so dumb sometimes. Can you at least bring it up from an F to a C+? Like, I'm not asking for a whole lot here.
No.
Wow.
Goodbye. Don't come into my classroom.
Goodbye, loser. So yeah, we're done. I'm gonna have to find another guy who can be my potential Mr. Potato. If you want to check out Polybuzz to create your own unique character and talk to others, click the link in my description and download the app. You can also add my code, mythots, in the app to access premium features. And thank you, Polybuzz, for sponsoring this video. Welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk season 11, episode 6. Starting with Mark and Mina. After watching all of their segments, my TLDR recap is that Jordan is a frickin' bleepin' bleepity bleep.
Okay, I think we have a chat now.
Me and you?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Talk. All right. Gabe, you watch Maria?
Or her mom can watch her.
Are we watching a grown-ass 27-year-old spoiled brat? B-R-A-T, all capital letters. She is talking to her dad like he's a child. First of all, that's her sister. And that comment, shouldn't her mom be watching her? Oh, that was so nasty. You want to know what that reminded me of? Veruca Salt. Yeah, they have the same exact attitude. Daddy, buy me North Korea. I want it now. Like, it was giving the same energy.
I said how I feel about you guys having more kids, and she doesn't care. She wants to have more kids, and I'm not going to be okay with that. So
shut up.
If you guys are just going to disregard how I feel, then maybe I shouldn't be at the wedding anyways.
Shut up!
I can't believe she told her dad that she's not going to be around his new family if he has another kid. Are you effing insane? How old are you? Are you 10? Are you throwing a jealous temper tantrum? Oh my god, you guys, I think I'm gonna go insane. Now, Jordan wants to leave the beach early because Mina uninvited her to the wedding and Mark is about to shit his pants. He has no conflict resolution skills. Oh my goodness, it was so frustrating. I wanted to jump out of the screen and shake him like, Mark, do something, say something, please. Jordan is such a brat. She needs a timeout. How is Maria, the toddler, acting more mature than Jordan's grown ass?
Let's just say it's a red flag, but we're not there yet. We still have a couple months to try to...
I feel like there's a lot of red flags that you're just like totally brushing over.
Girl, you're a red flag. You are a big red flag. Oh god, Mark doesn't know how to handle conflict. Like, he has no conflict resolution skills. He doesn't know how to... He's just like... I don't know. He's so uncomfortable.
If she has that big of a problem, then maybe we're not getting married. I don't know.
Do you know if you marry her, is she gonna divorce you and then leave with the baby and take everything?
I wouldn't marry her if I thought she was going to do that. And
she's so young. She's closer to my age than your age. Like, don't you think that that's strange?
I'm just trying to also be happy. I wasn't happy going through the divorce with Mom. I'm trying to find happiness again, and I did fall in love with somebody. She does happen to be younger.
I would be so much more comfortable if you found someone like your age and who lived in the U.S. and like...
You want me to break up with her right now, not get married? That's
no, because
your
now
idea
you
of fixing all
already have
this?
a baby, so you can't really fix anything now.
Right, so what...
So don't have more. That's my first thing. Don't have more.
You're literally trying to...
Excuse me? Excusez-moi? Who is she to dictate how many more children that the other woman has? Mina. Sorry, I forgot her name for a second. It's her body, her choice, okay? Shut the fork up.
You can do what you want. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do, but just...
Yeah, you are. That's what you're literally doing. You're saying, no, don't do this, don't do that. I'm not going to be your daughter anymore if you do this, okay? I'm not going to be at your wedding. I'm not going to be a part of your family, Dad.
And just know that it might be around less. It might not want to be around this new family.
Oh, that's so mean. That is so mean. Remember in my last recap, I said she's acting so weird around her sister. It's like she doesn't treat her like she's her sister. She's treating her like she's some weird, strange kid that she doesn't want to go near or touch. Like, that's your sister. Mark tells Mina, you guys just have to spend more time together to get along. And Mina's like, oh, hell no. I want to go to New Hampshire tomorrow. She doesn't want to spend any time with a family because she feels like everyone's going to treat them like crap because of what Jordan is going to tell them. Mark's like, what do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know. Use your brain and fix it. Moving on to the throuple. So Amani can't get over the fact that Matt and Ani had schmecks together behind her back and the vibes are awkward. Matt doesn't feel like he did anything wrong and Amani thinks that he did because he didn't tell her. But according to him, he didn't try to hide it. He didn't go out of his way to hide it. He just didn't say anything because he didn't think about it. He didn't think he did anything wrong.
I wasn't angry that they had sex without me. I think I was more like, I guess, jealous because I felt like I was disrespected.
I'm getting treated like it was a secret, and when it wasn't a secret.
Even there's 1% chance that I didn't know, you should have still talked to me about it, just like she did.
What do you guys think? Do you think Matt purposely hid it? I kind of think he could have, because if it was all out in the open and not a big deal, then Ani wouldn't have felt like she needed to tell Amani. She kind of announced it in the hot tub. But then again, maybe Matt just doesn't have the what's that called when you are aware of other people's feelings? Not empathetic, but like when you're into, well, I guess I can't think of any word other than empathetic. In Korean, there's a word called nunchi, which basically means that you can tell, like you can just assess a situation and how people are feeling and then act accordingly. I don't know do they have a word for that in English other than empathetic? I don't know. You guys can help me out and leave a few suggestions in the comments so I can learn some new words. Side note, Amani is on Instagram talking about all her recent procedures that she had done. She had a rhinoplasty, she had a fox eye lift, she had some other kind of lift I can't remember. She opens up about her insecurities and that's why she keeps getting these procedures. And she talks about how like she'll never use a filter, like a face-changing filter to make yourself look prettier because it's so harmful for your self-confidence. But it's like, you don't have to put other people down who use filters just so that you can come off authentic and like real. I don't know. I just have a problem with Amani. I don't really like her. I feel like she's very fake. And I'm not talking about like plastic surgery and all that because I don't really care. I'm actually pro plastic surgery, but there's something about her personality and the vibe that she gives off just comes off inauthentic. Anyway, Matt and Ani are all over each other. They're super lovey-dovey and very affectionate, and I can kind of see why Amani feels threatened and jealous because Matt and Ani, there's just a lot of chemistry between the two of them. Now, if you guys didn't watch the show How to Get Rich, Amani isn't really that nice to him. She talks to him like he works for her and kind of like he's beneath her. She doesn't let him access any of the money just because she's the one making it. And she doesn't respect him. She doesn't treat him with respect and she doesn't talk to him with respect. And her excuse is, well, women deal with it all the time, so why can't he just deal with it? Okay, and you think women like that? No, so why would Matt like that? At the end of their segment, the three of them set some rules for their relationship, and Ani basically says, okay, I just don't want any of us to go to bed angry. And Matt says, I think everyone should get a chance to talk, aka me, because Amani never lets me speak. And Amani says, I think there should be a discussion prior to you guys having schmecks without me. So then Amani goes, do you want me to do the same? And Ani and Matt are like, no, we don't care. Like, you can fork whoever you want. It's fine. Let's move on to Sean and Aaliyah. Aaliyah arrives in Los Angeles and Sean is there to pick her up with his dog who is so effing adorable. I'm obsessed with Maxwell. He's so furry and he's so cute. But I feel bad that he's a puppy because puppies are so hard. They're a lot of work. And I don't know if Aaliyah is able to deal with that. I don't know if she's prepared for that. Honestly, when people were like, puppies are so much work, I did not understand what that meant. I thought people were exaggerating. They were being dramatic, but it is truly like taking care of a newborn. And there's something called the puppy blues, and that is so real because there was a time, I think every day for the first 3 months, I almost cried, or I did cry, and I would regret getting my dog. I'd be like, oh my God, I need to rehome her. And I know, it sounds so horrible, but I have those thoughts because it was such a pain in the ass, okay? But you just have to pull through, okay? You have to stick with it. So if you or anyone you know is raising a puppy right now, hang in there, it does get better. Now, just a reminder, Sean and Aaliyah have only been together in person one other time before she came to America. All the other times they were together were before her transition. So they've been together for 4 years. 3 out of those years was when Aaliyah was Douglas. And so Sean doesn't really know how this is going to work out. I believe that they haven't even been, or maybe in the last season they were finally intimate. I can't remember. She enters his home, and I mean, it's a beautiful home, okay? The architecture is gorgeous, but it's decorated horrendously. Aaliyah is very confused by the decor. There's some medievalness, and then there's some random lizards and dinosaurs, and then there are a bunch of Hollywood memorabilia. Like, nothing makes sense, and it's kind of a hot mess. He needs to take some of that money and hire an interior designer. He takes her to the bedroom so that she can unpack, and he's like, hey, look at that king-size bed. Do you want to lay on it? And she's like, oh no, my clothes are dirty. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Good job, Aaliyah. Yay, finally. But then she proceeds to put her suitcase on the bed. At night, they go outside and eat a charcuterie board, and I kid you not, it made me want a charcuterie board for myself. So I actually went to the grocery store the next day and got deli meat, cheese, and pretzels because I don't really like crackers. I prefer pretzels with my cheese. So yeah. So Aaliyah wants to talk about the status of their relationship now that she's in America, because if you didn't know, Sean was in an open relationship, even though Aaliyah didn't really agree to it. But Sean was like, you know, we're so far away. We don't see each other often and I have needs. And so I'm going to be in an open relationship. And she just kind of had to agree. And so now she wants to talk about it now that she's here, and she wants to set boundaries and new guidelines and rules. But he doesn't want to talk about that just yet because he wants to wait a couple days to see how everything goes first. Red flag, red flag. I don't know. I honestly, I know that he's trying to just see if things will work out with him being with a woman, but we all know that he very much prefers to be with a man. And Aaliyah is not a man anymore, but he keeps holding on to Douglas. He's also kind of waiting to know if she's going to fully transition, biologically. Is that something that she's planning? Because ultimately, he does not want to be with a woman. He wants to be with a man. He doesn't think if she commits to fully transitioning, then he doesn't think he can be with her. So, yikes, this is not going to work out. The next morning, Sean wants to go hiking, and Aaliyah's like, damn, we got to go hiking the morning after I just got here. And I was like, same, Aaliyah. I would not be down for a hike. Actually, I would never, ever, ever, because I just don't like to move. They bring Maxwell to the hike and he poops. And Sean's like, Aaliyah, do you want to pick it up? And she's like, no thanks. That's your dog and you can pick up his poop. I appreciated Sean picking up after his dog because there are so many people who do not pick up after their dogs, and it pisses me off. Oh, it pisses me off. There's nothing more I want to do than to find the people who didn't pick up their dog poo and throw it in their faces. I'm not joking. It enrages me. It's not that freaking hard. If you have a dog, pick up their poo, or don't have a dog at all. There's so much dog poo all around the street where my parents live. I hate walking my dogs here because there's poop everywhere. My last apartment complex had this doggy DNA thing where every single dog that lives in that apartment complex has to get their DNA swabbed so that if there's dog poo that anybody leaves in the apartment premise, they're gonna find whose dog it is and fine you. And I love that. So going forward, that is always something that I look for. And the apartments that have it, I rarely find any dog poo, and it's amazing. And my current apartment does not have that. Guess what? I find dog shit everywhere. Okay, my rant is over. So Aaliyah asks him why he hasn't told his friends or his family about her. And he's like, because I don't want to hear them complain. I don't want to hear from them. They're going to criticize me that you're 40 years younger than me, and I just don't want to deal with it. Aaliyah also finds out that Sean didn't really want to ever get married again, and he would only marry Aaliyah because of the visa situation. Everyone in my comment section is saying that Sean looks like the Burger King. That's freaking hilarious because he actually does. I need Sean to bring her to Burger King and she'd be like, oh my God, Sean, are you their mascot? Do you guys like Burger King, the food? I actually had Burger King the other day. I had a Whopper Jr. and it was delectable. Okay, the burger was perfect. It was clean, fresh veggies, and the perfect amount of mayo and ketchup. Yeah, I just love a good Whopper Jr. Let's move on to Stevie and Maddie. I just want to say Stevie was fine in episode 1, but the more I see her, the more she's pissing me off. She's just so damn annoying. She will not let Maddie have his feelings. She won't let him speak his feelings, and it's just really damn annoying. So Stevie picks up Maddie from the barber shop and he's hiding his face because the barber chopped off his beard and cut it way too short and he's super insecure. He feels naked. I think he looks great, but he's not comfortable with it. So he wants Stevie to use her painting skills and to fill up his beard with some makeup. But she uses like a marker and she fills it up. And from afar, it doesn't look too bad except for the corners. It was very angular and it looked like a long rectangle. But I was really confused by the whole situation because he said that they shaved his face and then turned him around to the mirror afterwards. How does that even happen and why does it happen like that? Shouldn't the client be facing the mirror so that the client can see what they're doing? Is that how barbershops work? I don't know. Someone fill me in. So then they go to a coffee shop and they sit down with their coffees and she tells him, I told Wendy that you were bitching about wanting to go home. And he's like, why would you say that? Now she's going to have a bad impression of me. Well, then maybe you shouldn't have told me that. And he goes, I was just telling you my feelings. Like, you're my fiance. I can't even tell you how I feel. And she's like, no.
I still feel like you shouldn't have told her.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have told me that.
She's annoying the fork out of me. Let the man grieve and let him miss his family and let him express it. Damn, do you want him to shove it down, suck it up, and not even be able to tell you how he feels? And then he says, oh, before I thought I'd stay in America even if we broke up, but now I think I want to go back if we were to ever break up. And now Stevie has an issue with both of those statements. She doesn't like that he was thinking about going back to Iran, but then she also doesn't like that he was planning on staying in America if they were to break up. Girl, you need to worry about some other stuff. Like, of course he's gonna think about all his options and what ifs. Are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah, but when I got with you, I meant forever. Like, I want this to be forever. Bitch, relationships don't always stay forever. Didn't you get divorced in your last marriage? Like, you should know. She's like, well, Maddie, I would have moved to Iran if I could. Bitch, no, you wouldn't have. Okay? So please shut up.
I honestly can't believe that Maddie is telling me that he had already planned on staying in America even if we didn't work out. This is probably the first time in our whole entire relationship that I've ever questioned Maddie's motive.
She's so annoying. She's so annoying. She's like, I never had any of those thoughts, but it bothers me that you have. Oh my God. If you had to move to a different country where you knew nobody, you would have those thoughts. It's only natural. Please shut up. Shut up. Oh my God. After this crap, I am going on ZocDoc and I am finding a therapist. Holy crap, I cannot stand her. It's so crazy how in episode 1, I was like, oh my God, she's great. She's so empathetic. She's so kind. She's so sweet. And now she's so damn annoying. I want to know about her last marriage. I want to know about her husband. I want to know why they got a divorce. I want to know all those things now.
Are you saying you would come in and say that disgusts me?
I didn't say that.
Well, then how did you say it?
I just said it was just a thought.
Are you effing crazy? Are you out of your mind? That disgusts me? What? It was just a thought. And she goes, well, don't think it then. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell. 911. What's your emergency? Oh, I'm about to beat a hoe, so please come and arrest me, officer, please.
Okay, don't think it.
I expected her to be more understanding. Any relationship could go wrong, so we have to be reasonable about it. The hardest thing I've ever done in my life was leaving my family, but I can't even be honest with her about that.
He's like, okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you. No, you should have told me so we can talk about it. What the heck do you want from him? You literally won't let him talk about it. That's the whole point of this. Like, you get so defensive and bitchy. Like, whew, okay. Now we're gonna get to the best part, Greg and Joan. Greg takes Joan to some oceanside place. I can't remember the exact name. They have both dogs. Greg walks one and Joan walks the other. And she seems to kind of have gotten a little bit more used to the dogs compared to the first night. She asks him, when do you think we're going to move out? And he says, probably 2 years. And she's like, what? 2 years? I thought it was going to be 3 to 6 months. And he says he doesn't want to waste any money on renting an apartment. He'd rather save money for a down payment on a house.
I don't want us to be wasting money on an apartment. You know, I'd rather just save up a down payment for something and we'll get our own place that we can pay for.
And it's so funny to hear people having such strong opinions. about renting versus owning. I know it's a very traditional way of thinking that you should buy a house. If you're renting, you're wasting all this money, but buying a house is not for everybody. Okay? Buying a house comes with a lot of other costs. Where renting, you're at the cap. Like if your rent is $1,500, that is the max amount that you'll have to worry about to pay each month. But when it comes to a house, there are so many more unexpected expenses. And the expenses are expensive. Okay, they're not just like $75, $200 they're like thousands of dollars. So buying a house is not for everyone. And I know he said that he wants to spend the next 2 years saving up money to buy a house, and that is a valid reason, very, very valid. But for some reason, I feel like he's using that as an excuse to not do anything. You know, he wants to, like, yeah, sure, that's his hope and dreams, but is he gonna have any follow through? I don't think so. So in my professional potato opinion, I think for his situation, he needs to get a job and go find an apartment.
I guess like $8,000, a little bit more than that in debt. The turbo blowing up on my car, that was what, like $1,500? Process of the visa, the lawyer, it's just like even, the flight tickets, all of this is very expensive.
Joan is shocked to find out that Greg actually has debt on top of not having a job or a savings. And she's like, oh my God, so how are you going to pay for the wedding then? He's like, I'll have to take care of the cost. Weddings are very expensive, but we can cut costs. Like we can cook the food. We can take care of all the food and the dessert, and my mom can help with that. I'm like, did you ask Lucille? Does Lucille know that she's cooking for an entire wedding party? She's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely agree that we shouldn't spend too much money on the wedding, but I don't want an ugly wedding dress. And he's like, yeah. We'll have to talk about a budget. Okay. And the conversation ends there. I would have been like, so what's the budget? He said that he has job interviews lined up. And I'm like, okay, that's good. But are you gonna take them? He helps her put on a dress. She looks amazing. She's like, oh, wow, I think I gained some weight since coming to America. Yeah, that happens to literally every foreigner that steps on American soil. Also, I've heard so many Americans who travel out of the country and lose weight during their travels, even though they're eating more than they normally do in America, like during their vacation, but they somehow come back with weight loss. Joan finally meets Greg's friends, John and John. They've been friends for over 20 years, and John, I'm going to call him Long-Hair John. Long-Hair John roasts the shit out of Greg.
Greg did, in fact, win prom king, although I don't know how much of that was, somewhat of a joke. Sometimes I feel like Greg's humor can be kind of a deflection for whatever internal issues he's having. He's still living in his mother's house at the age of 35.
Damn. The Johns ask Joan how she likes living with Lucille, and Joan says, it's fine. I hope we're going to move out in the next 3 months. And John goes, so how are y'all going to do that in 3 months, Greg? And then Greg looks kind of embarrassed and he says, it's going to take some time. Like, I don't want a place to rent. I definitely want to own. And Long-Hair John goes, so what are you going to do for work then? And Greg says, bakery. And John goes, so you want to open up a bakery? That's going to take a lot of money. So where is your money going to go towards? A bakery or a house? And I was like, damn, John. Go, John. It's your birthday. Let's party like it's your birthday. Greg looks so uncomfortable, but John is spitting out facts, truth after truth. He tells him, listen, you're not some trust fund kid where your parents can fund your, quote, dreams. You should aim for a steady income, something that's more secure. Period.
I've always suggested that Greg try to find a job that is steady, maybe something in a union or something like that where he's got steady paycheck, job security.
Joan is nodding. She's like, yes, exactly. Yes, preach, John, preach. Greg feels like he's being ganged up on, but honestly, Long-Hair John, we need more of him. He's not done though. He asks Greg, so what's the long-term goal here? You want to get married and then what? And Greg says he wants a family. And Joan says she wants 2 kids. And Greg says he wants as many kids as Joan will give him, like up to 10.
I want as many kids as she's willing to give me.
Very realistic number, thank you.
Get the fork out of here, Greg. You can't even afford your own fiance. Do not bring kids into this. So Joan and the Johns laugh about her living situation with the mother-in-law, and Greg basically doesn't want to get a job because he doesn't want to work for anyone. Oh my God.
Greg needs to be extremely realistic about what it's going to take to simply get a roof over their heads, let alone a roof that's large enough to supply children. There's multiple opportunities he could have taken throughout his life that he's chosen not to do because he just doesn't want to punch someone else's clock.
Literally, it does not matter. Greg, you have to get a job. It does not matter if it's not your dream job. Oh my God, how many times do I have to say you have to provide for your fiancé? Okay, you have to provide because she can't work. Okay, so go out and get a job and be a provider. Okay? Well, that's it for the recap. I just want to thank everyone who sent their well wishes to my dog. Thank you guys so much. I posted a few times on my community tab, and you guys were so helpful and so sweet and so kind, and I'm so thankful. I love every single one of you parasocially. Just a quick update, she is doing okay. She is 2 days post-op. She got her right knee done. It ended up being $1,870 for that knee. So she's going to have to go back after she fully recovers and she has to do the other knee. And no, I do not have pet insurance. I don't know how much pet insurance would have covered. Some of you guys suggested that I get pet insurance before her next surgery, but it's going to be considered a pre-existing condition, so they won't cover it anyway. I am looking into pet insurances, but I just don't know if it's that beneficial. Some of you suggested that I just keep putting in money every month towards her fund, which I have been doing. I'm just worried with her because she was the runt of the litter. So far she's been having a lot of issues. So I feel like maybe I should invest in pet insurance for her. My other dog, she seems to be fine. She has like nothing except for her nostrils. They're very tight. So I'm thinking about getting the stenotic, whatever that's called, where they open up the nostril hole so that she can breathe better. So yeah, these little furry beasts are very, very costly. And I feel like all my money is going to go towards them. But anyway, back to the little one. She is on so many meds. And so my mom and I wrote it down, specific instructions, and we're on a schedule. I'm by her side almost the entire time. She loves to cuddle, and the potty breaks have been really hard. I've been taking her out every 2 hours, and a lot of the time she won't go, but she'll finally go. So far, she's only been going once a day. She hasn't had a bowel movement since surgery, so that's like 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, almost 3 days where she hasn't had a bowel movement, and I'm a little concerned, but at least she's peeing once a day. So I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your well wishes. I greatly appreciate it. And that's it for this week's recap. I wanted to do Love After Lockup and Gypsy Rose, but because of the surgery and the post-op care, I just haven't had the time to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it this week. So anyway, thank you guys so much for understanding. I love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend, and I will talk to you in the next recap. Bye.